What's going on, believers? Guys, for those of you that know me for any length of time, you know that my favorite Metaverse token is StarLink. StarLink is trading a little bit low today because of the market dip that happened overnight. That market dip was caused by China mining, Wall Street. Make up your own reasons. There's no real reason for it to happen. This is an artificial dip that was created by a bunch of whales doing a lot of selling off in a coordinated effort to get the prices down, because if you look at the charts in the last hour, you'll see a massive correction has already started. So the American market's going to wake up, things are going to get crazy. But right now, we're looking at StarLink. This is not financial advice, but I'm always right.
I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways.
All right, guys, StarLink is currently trading at $29.79, as you can see up here. The cascade of sell-off started yesterday. It started around the same time everything else happened. You can see the whole market's bleeding red. There's just a dip, a massive dip that everybody's experiencing. StarLink, like everybody else, experienced that dip, is down to, and here we are. But what that does is that creates an enormous buy opportunity. Now, I know what you're thinking. Believes you've been saying this over and over and over again, and that's fair. But this massive run up that we had right here for the original StarLink, this was when the alpha got released and there was an enormous buzz. Well, now there's another announcement I think that's forthcoming, that things are going to be happening, and I'm not able to get into any kind of specific on it. So there's not much that you can say, and I'm not the one that's going to leak anything. So here we are at 29.79. Best thing that I can say to you is, if you're looking for a 3 or a 4x, then this is a great play. Now, when I say this, I believe that StarLink is one of your absolute long-term hodls, because we're looking at a market cap over here of $297 million as we sit here right now with about 30,000 holders. There's a lot of opportunity for growth, and I want to take you to top Metaverse tokens just to give you an idea of what market caps are looking like. The biggest market cap right now is Axie Infinity, sitting at $5.2 billion. $5.2 billion. The Sandbox at $4.4 billion. Decentraland is at $3.8 billion. Now remember, this is on a massive 24-hour dip. Let's not forget that. Engine is at 2.2, DeFi is at 1.1 billion. Then you have the rest coming down here until you get to number 239 overall, and that is StarLink. Now, all of these, just like StarLink, they're just games. They're games that people can go and play. They're a little bit, the ones up at the top, they're just a little bit further along. So if you take this as a gauge of what it's going to look like, you have a $298 million market cap right here. What's it going to look like when the game launches? Well, it's going to look like this right here. It's going to look like a $3 billion market cap. So if you're looking for a place where you can get a great 10x, then this is probably where you're going to come. Now, I'm not promising you 10x. I'm telling you the opportunity exists. In fact, the opportunity exists for about a 20x from where it is right now. This is, by the way, there's no burns or anything like that. This is just a straight token. It will be used inside the game for purchases. There's an enormous amount of value. Now, why does that matter? That's a good question. So every time I post an IP on here, it gets demonetized or there's a problem. So I'm just going to try to do this through Google and just say that StarLink is coming through Warp Nexus. Warp Nexus is a casual online space game that's based around a real economy where every move a player makes helps shape the universe. Players play on any platform with any type of controls in either single player, co-op, or PvP. Play the way you want and hop right into the action. Now, this game includes space mining, exploration of space, space combat. There's going to be a number of different things. And as this game expands and as this world expands. And you can see the announcement that happened over here, September 26th. Warp Nexus is becoming the Starl Metaverse. And as this thing expands, you're going to see an increase in the things that can happen. Right now, you are able to do a number of things. And let's go look at what it is that you can do right now, even though the game hasn't launched. Okay, guys, so I'm at starltoken.com. And as you can see here, there is a community marketplace. And you have these things right here, which are called pixel knots. And for anybody that doesn't know, you're not into NFTs. Pixel knots are a very popular space-oriented NFT that includes bonuses. Bonuses such as having an American flag in the background. These green things right here, if they're red or a different color, if they're pink, then they are a premium and they give you extra stats. And at some point, once the game is launched, you are going to be able to connect, and those are going to enhance the stats of presumably your character or a side character or something like that. Now, right here, you're looking at luxury models. This is a luxury module of what you can use as a home to live in. This becomes your place, and there will be a lot of them. The original batch is already sold out. There is, by the way, going to be a resale market for people who just did not get in time. I hold 3 of these pixel knots right now, hoping. And by the way, I didn't get anything good, but hoping that at some point I would pop one of the big ones, maybe be able to flip it for a couple of smaller ones. Didn't happen that way, but I'm waiting for the launch, and I'm also in the beta. Full disclosure, but these luxury modules, they are, and you can see this kind of over here. They're incredible. You can land, get on board, and then this becomes your home. You can decorate it. You can do whatever it is that you want. You're basically living inside this game universe, and there's a lot of games that allow you to do that right now. And the difference between those games and this game is that those are not using crypto. Those are not using giving you an opportunity to generate your own crypto as a reward for the stuff that you can do. For example, mining. If you mine, then you'll be able to sell your resources from mining, and that will allow you to make profit and take profit. And if you ever wanted to make money in a video game, Axie Infinity was one of the precursors to that. If you ever wanted to make money in a video game, this was an opportunity for you to do that. And if you are into video games, I absolutely do not have to tell you what cottage industry became of WoW when it launched. There were so many farmers that were farming gold for people that played WoW. Now imagine that today in a crypto game, and you have StarLink. So I think this is a great play. Let's move on. All right, so we're going to take a quick dive into the Twitter account. We're going to see what we see over here. For those of you that are still interested or still with me, you can go back and check a previous video I did on StarLink where we did the contract and everything like that. So what we're looking at now is the Amoebaverse is coming in 2022. Amoeba Music and StarLink and Subtractive are bringing virtual events with our favorite musical artist to the Starl Metaverse, blasting Amoeba Music into a new universe. Details coming soon. Live from the Metaverse. This is an opportunity. It'll be great. It's an opportunity for you to go to concerts inside of your space video game. That's incredible. That's a great opportunity, especially in an age that we live in right now where people are kind of introverted, not necessarily by choice, but by necessity. So this is going to be a great opportunity. And as long as it happens quick and you take advantage of it early, then it's going to be a great thing. Next, the bull market or bear market. Both don't matter when you're building the future of the metaverse and blockchain. We are here for the long term, Starl. Now, let me say this. The struggle right now in the metaverse, and guys, if the metaverse were popping, and by popping I mean if it were just going crazy and having that parabolic run that some things do, then this would be one of the products that would go along with it, and you'd be sitting at $1 billion already. But it's not. The metaverse has cooled off tremendously. The pop that you got originally from the metaverse, when there was a pop, was a confluence of events some of those products, like the Sandbox. Sandbox had an alpha. StarLink had an alpha, but those were happening at the same time that Facebook announced that it was changing its name to Meta in order to gouge you for whatever they're trying to gouge you for. Also, it's entirely possible that Facebook and Starlink might have a partnership at some point coming in the future, since Facebook is trying to create this whole metaverse themselves and get the help. I think that there are a few game systems that are going to be well ahead of them in that. Fingers crossed, because I don't like Facebook and I don't use Facebook for very much. So we'll see what happens there. But they broke it out. They got everything trending. That's why everything got a lift. Now we're just waiting for that next catalyst to happen. And once the crypto market goes down, once we enter that real bear market, then we're going to experience a rise in the metaverse, because people who are investing are always looking for something new. And the metaverse is something new, and it's crypto related, but it's not cryptocurrency. So I think it's going to pop as soon as the crypto market starts to cool off and we go into that bear market. Here we go. This is Starl has connected our official Twitter account with our official Pixel Knots collection. So now you can go to the OpenSea where you buy the Pixel Knots. And before, let me tell you, I had to find links from StarLink in order to get in there, because it was a little bit difficult to navigate. And that's not because they don't make it easy. It's because I'm a moron, and morons do moron stuff. So I wasn't able to get in there, but I bought my 3, and I couldn't even figure out how to sell them if I wanted to. So they're just in my wallet. The end. So moving on. Starl Tokenomics, here we go. No tax on any transaction, no developer wallet, no inbuilt burn or mint mechanism. All tokens are in circulation. Contract is renounced. It's as simple as that. The fairest distribution a project can offer. Now, one of the good things about this is, as soon as it pops off just a little bit, it doesn't have any of the tax on transactions. It doesn't have any of the burn mechanisms. And what does that do? That creates a problem, those things, for companies that are trying to do like a centralized exchange. So for Starlink to get on a centralized exchange, much easier, because it's just straightforward. There's nothing to it. It's a straight up token for token transaction system. So this is a great thing. And then continue on here. I don't want to bore you here, but one thing that we do need to say is Dominic Kelly is now the marketing lead web developer, and they just had an AMA on that. So if you want to go in here and have your Q&A with Dominic, there's some questions, there's some answers, et cetera, et cetera. It's on the Twitter account. Just go look for it. And I believe that you have a link down here that you can go check everything out in as well. So, guys, everything looks great when you look at Starlink. Moving on. All right, guys, I throw superlatives every time I talk about Starlink. I throw them because I believe in them. And I'm going to take a really quick but deep dive into why this matters to me. Many years ago, I played a game, and it was called Star Wars Galaxies. And in that game, it started off with a very robust and very vibrant economy. And it was created by a gentleman by the name of Raph Koster. That in itself was incredible to me, because to this day, we're in 2021, and there is no economy like the Star Wars Galaxies economy. But what Raph Koster did make were a lot of fans in the way that he designed and the way that he built things. Also, along the way, even though he left, the game was then designed to include space combat. Now, if you looked at the space combat in Star Wars Galaxies, and you look at the space combat in Jumpgate, or you look at the space combat in Warp Nexus, then you will know exactly where this space combat came from. Shahid Ahmad, who is one of the geniuses behind this whole project, is also, and has made, it's no secret that he is a big fan of Raph Koster in every single way, and he was a fan of Star Wars Galaxies. So I'm not looking at this game as a spiritual successor to that game, because that game was way deeper than it had any need to be, and I'm not sure that it's even worth replicating at this point. But I can tell you this: if you like space combat, then Warp Nexus and Jump Gate and any one of these games has an incredibly intuitive system of control. It is amazing how the layouts work. The economy. Now, one of the things about the Star Wars Galaxies, again, not a deep dive, but one of the things about the economy is that resources and the quality of resources made a difference in how you built things. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to be included in here, but it's an option at some point where specific and special resources that are very rare will pop up somewhere, and they will help you build items for your spaceship that are going to make your spaceship even better and better and better, and you'll get a top of the line item. Now, if you want to just buy that item, it'll probably be expensive, but it'll have to be mined by somebody who's doing the work. So, in this old game, you transacted without money. You did something and you got something for it. Well, in this game, in Starlink, you're going to be playing this game and earning money, and you're going to be able to trade real world currency. And I know Starlink and cryptocurrency, we're not talking about it as real world transactional money in on the surface, but it is a transactional cryptocurrency that can be used for things, or it can be used to transfer over to things that can then be used for cash. So this is such a great opportunity and such a great game. And I don't mean to gush because, but guys, if you are not in Starlink, then you are going to be missing out on another one of these big games that makes one of these big runs. This is going to be a deep, compelling game that's going to hook people in by the teeth, and it's going to sink in, and they are going to love this game. And it'll take a little while for the whole thing to develop. You got to go through the process of building the game. You got to render, you got to create the assets, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But they are far along. We've already been through one alpha. The next alpha is coming up, I'm told, soon enough, and that's going to lead to another pump in the price. So if you're doing this for crypto, it's a perfect opportunity. If you're doing it for a long-term hold, this is the perfect opportunity because you're probably not going to get a discount on the price the way that you are right now. So, guys, that's my time. Starlink is the future of the metaverse. Make sure that you get in. Don't miss out on this one because you're going to regret it in the long term. This is space combat. This is everything that you always wanted it to be if you enjoyed space gaming, if you enjoyed PvP gaming, if you enjoyed any kind of mining. This is the game for you to have. This is EVE Online with cryptocurrency. Guys, that's my time. This was not financial advice, but I'm always right.
I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining like